Bismillah. So,
Bismillah.
Amadou, nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you too, bro.
Thank you for coming. So yeah, just give us, I know you might have watched some of our stuff that we've done before. We'd like to get straight to each person's lifestyle, what makes you who you are today. We like to then go back to who you was in the beginning to know who you are today kind of thing. So
Okay.
who was you many years ago as a very, very young kid growing up, wherever you grew up? Where did you grow up? Etc. etc.
Yeah, I'm from around here, so I'm from Lewisham.
You're from Lewisham originally?
Yeah, I grew up in Lethbridge Close.
Okay, just
Yeah, opposite Mount Primary School.
Okay.
So I went to Mount Primary School, and yeah, originally I was born in Hammersmith, and then while I was a baby, I moved to Senegal. So I was like 2 or 3 years old.
Nice.
And then I was in Senegal until I was about 9. I came back in year 5.
So you were there for like 7, 6 years?
Yeah, I was there for a while. So
well, why was the decision made for you to go to Senegal?
it wasn't my decision.
No, but I'm saying as in like, why was the decision made?
Honestly, I think because my mum got remarried and she was with my stepdad in America, and then they had my sisters there. So I was alone with I was left with my grandma. So she raised me
in Senegal?
in those like beginning stages. And honestly, looking back, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
So you was raised by your grandmother solely from the age of 2?
Yeah, from about 2, 3 until year 5. So about 8, 9.
Okay,
yeah.
mad.
So, but it wasn't just my grandma. You know, in Africa, how it is.
Yeah, I know.
Uncles are everywhere, aunties are everywhere. I'm living with my cousins, and there's loads of kids around. Every day is fun. I'm going to school. I'm learning Arabic as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was good. It was good. It was there where I experienced my first World Cup.
Okay.
When Senegal qualified in 2002, and then you got these heroes like El Hadji Diouf.
Well, I didn't know that. Senegal qualified for the
World Cup in 2002.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was our first ever World Cup.
Okay.
And then, we beat France in the first game of the whole tournament. The first game. The World Cup was in South Korea, Japan.
Okay.
And France then were the holders because they won it in 98.
Yep.
So it was like a big thing because obviously France colonized Senegal. There's a lot of history.
And we're beating you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of the players then for Senegal were playing in France. So it was a big thing. And that's the day I said, I want to be a footballer. Yeah.
Wasn't the Senegals looking at the France players like you traitors kind of thing?
A little bit, because there were some players that were actually Senegalese that were playing against us, like Vieira.
Yeah.
So Patrick Vieira,
Patrick Vieira is Senegalese.
Yeah, he was born in Senegal.
He's tall, so yeah.
Yeah, he was born in Senegal.
Okay.
So his dad is Cape Verde, and I believe his mum is Senegalese. So yeah.
Okay. So again, going back to that age now, no mum and dad. How is life like that then? Because I kind of had a similar story like that, but my one was a bit further up. Like by 8 years old, I left my mum. So that was a difficult transition from having a mum for 8 years of your life, and then now living solely with your dad for another 5, 6 years of your life.
That's true.
How was that for you from 3 till say 8? Was there any difference you noticed, or?
To be honest, because I went so young, I didn't know any better. So I didn't notice that I didn't like miss my mum or anything. I would see her, obviously on holidays, she'll come round. And she'll always make sure I was good. She'll obviously send me stuff from Europe or from the States to make sure I'm comfortable. And all the other cousins used to hate, like, oh, let me get that. Why'd you get this? Why'd you get that? So yeah, to be honest, I was just like appreciative of everything. I didn't know any better, and I was a very happy child. As long as I had a football, I was good.
Cool. You mentioned, Amadou, about mum remarrying, so that's why you came back to kind of like on your own to stay with your grandmother in Senegal. In terms of dad, where was dad in the situation? Did dad pass away or dad wasn't around? And anything about that?
Yeah, so basically when I was born, when I was younger, at that period, my mum and dad separated. So growing up, I never met my dad. So obviously my dad, originally he's from Ivory Coast.
Okay.
And he met my mum in London. And then obviously whatever happened, and they separated. So they all went their own ways. So my mum got remarried to my stepdad, and he's originally from America. So sorry, he's Senegalese, but he was based in the United States, in New York.
Okay.
So
Did that have an impact on you though, in terms of the dad not being around, your real dad?
Not at that age, because I didn't know any better. So I didn't really know what a father was or to have a father around. But I think that affected me in the later stages when I was around, like, when I moved back to the UK. So, because UK, you're more isolated. So when I moved back, it was me, my mum, my sisters, and my stepdad was still based in America. So he'll come like every 3 or 4 months. So because he was by yourself, you realize more things because you're more aware of your surroundings and how things are and like family dynamics, if that makes sense.
By yourself, how do you mean you're by yourself? Because you was by yourself also in Africa.
Because Africa, I'm surrounded family. So like in the UK, I didn't have a lot of male role models around in the house. Whereas in Africa, in Senegal especially, I have my uncles everywhere. I have my granddad. There's always a male...
They're very present.
Yeah, they're very present in my life. There's always a male role model there. Like, there's loads of them. So you won't like step out of line, or if you need advice, you go to someone, or if you, things like if you need money, there's someone always there. Whereas in the UK, it's different.
When you say present though, how are we talking? They live in your house or they live within a certain area that you can see each other regularly?
So in Senegal, where I lived, my granddad, he was kind of wealthy. So we lived in like a big house. It was like, I think, 15 bedrooms.
Nice.
So, and he had 3 wives as well.
Okay.
So, and my mum's mum, my grandma, on her side, she has 11 kids. So my mum has 10 siblings. And at this stage, they're all like, they're all mature, they're all old, they're all like late 20s, early 30s at this time. So, and they're all around the house. So obviously, my mum's older sister, she had kids as well, and they were around my age. So we was all experiencing the same thing. So it wasn't like, oh, you're this person's son or daughter.
Just all like brothers, really.
All brothers and sisters, we were all treated the same. So in terms of presence, they were there helping us to take us to school, to guide us with like life, to give us money when we needed it. Or if you step out of line, you will get the beats, you know what I mean? So,
but I think the environment as well, where, you know, especially like, let's say African countries, where if it's in a village, the whole village is part of
exactly
the well-being of a child.
Yeah.
You know, neighbors will visit neighbors, and you will visit neighbors, and neighbors are, even though they're not your cousins, but they're like your family.
Yeah.
Where here you're gonna be, like you said, isolated. It's just you. If you haven't got uncles and aunts around, it's just you in that estate and so on, or in that house and so on. So
yeah, it's true, definitely.
So one question, Akhi, were you the only child from your mom and dad?
Yes. So from my mom and dad, I'm the second child. So my dad has 2 kids. So he had a previous relationship in London as well.
Okay.
And so I have an older sister.
Okay.
And I got in touch with her as well years down the line via Facebook. So now we're connected, we talk and we see each other from time to time.
MashaAllah.
So yeah.
All right, cool. So moving forward, you're in Africa. What made the transition from Africa to here? What happened like for you to come back?
I believe that I had some problems with my papers. Because I think when I was born and I moved to the UK, I didn't have a British citizenship yet.
You was born where again?
I was born here in London.
Yeah, okay.
But when I moved to Senegal, I don't think my mum sorted out my British citizenship. There was a loophole or something. So for me to get my British citizenship, I had to move back here. And then, yeah, I think that's the reason why I moved back.
Don't incriminate yourself, yeah? Anything.
Oh, I'm not kidding.
You have getting your British
legit, man.
This is legit move.
Not everyone came on the boat, man. Like,
yeah, this is a legit
some
move.
People came legit, bro. But yeah, so there was issues with the papers, and then you had to come back. Yeah,
we had to come back and sort out my paperwork. But it wasn't just that; it was a combination of loads of things. Because I think that time my mum had because I was born in West London, Hammersmith, and then she owned a house there, and she wanted to sort out the house as well. And there was a lot of things that she wanted to sort out. So that's when we moved back. But when we moved back, we moved to South East London, Lewisham.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was life like coming back now? Obviously, has your mum at this stage had new kids or anything like that?
Yeah, so right now I have 2 little sisters.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
out now with my 2 little sisters. It's the age gap is 4 and 5 years old.
Between you and them?
Yeah, between me and them.
Okay.
So one's born in 2000 and the other one's born in 2001. So yeah. So it was good to have sisters. Like, you know, automatically when I moved back, I felt like a responsibility to kind of look after them. Older brother. Especially when there's no father figure around consistently. Obviously, my stepdad will come from time to time. And whenever he will leave, he will say to me, you know that talk, you're the man of the house.
Man of the house.
Yeah, look after your mum, look after your sisters.
How was that relationship with the stepfather?
It was good. It was good. He taught me so much, especially in the deen. So he would tell me to pray. He would remind me to pray. When he wakes up the Fajr, he would only wake me up to pray with him. We used to come to this mosque as well. So yeah, man, he helped me a lot in the deen, and he showed me like how to be a man. So how to obviously provide, how to speak, respect people, and obviously defend yourselves as well. So he was very like physical. So he used to like do press ups and things like that. So
They're known for wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah, wrestling. Yeah,
Wrestling is a
we're
big
big
thing,
fans of
I
wrestlers.
know for that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, cool. So moving forward again from that, then what happened here school wise?
Yeah, so as I said, I came in year 5, and honestly, I didn't really like it when I moved here from Senegal.
Could you speak English?
I could speak English, but my English wasn't great, because in Senegal, as you're aware, the official language is French.
Okay, yes.
So we spoke mainly French, and even while I was there, I went to like a private school. So it was like, it's called SABS, SABS. It's like Senegalese American bilingual school. So it's like a combination of English and French for like the students that have English backgrounds. So students from like USA or England, like myself. So when we was doing that, I thought I spoke English, but here it was different, because we was learning the American style English. Coming here, they're speaking with the Queen's English, different accent. I'm all confused. It was different. It was different.
So what primary school you end up going?
I went to Mount.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's the one you were saying in Lethbridge.
Yeah, Lethbridge.
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
So Mount is literally opposite.
Opposite the road, yeah.
Yeah,
And
Lethbridge.
was that when they was doing the new works or before the new?
Way before.
Yeah, because it used to look like a dump.
Yeah, it was the dump back then. I can't lie.
Yeah.
But
It used to look like Ferrier.
yeah, literally.
Ferrier was like
Yeah.
that, like just
Literally.
all the houses are interconnected.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
do knock down ginger here, run all the way through to the other. Do you know that kind
There's
of?
like bare alleyways in and out. It was different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving on from that, and then you've gone obviously secondary school. Secondary school, or schools that?
Secondary school was Thomas Tallis School, and in Kidbrooke. And again, I didn't really want to go to that school because everyone went to a Lewisham school. So only me and I think 3 other people from our primary school went to Thomas Tallis.
Did you say you didn't want to go, or you wanted
No,
to?
I didn't want to
You
go.
wanted to go to a Lewisham school.
Yeah, I want to go to a Lewisham
So
school.
that comes under what, Greenwich, yeah?
Greenwich.
Yeah, so Thomas Tallis is under Greenwich. So everyone literally went to a Lewisham school, like Deptford Green, St Matthews, Adian Stanhope, Haberdashers. Not a lot of people went to a Greenwich school, so
Did you ask your mum why?
no, I didn't, Yeah, I didn't.
Because my dad done the same thing to me. I live all the way in Deptford. There's Deptford Green right there. There's Adian Stand Up right there.
John Roan.
There's John Roan. There could have even Blackheath Blue Coats right there. He took me all the way to Eltham Green,
Yeah.
which was like 2 bus rides, like an hour to get there.
3 to 1.
Racist. It's like, what was he trying to do? Was set me up.
Yeah.
Because you know what, they see the kids that are there and see how bad these kids are, because they see them on a daily basis. Nah, let me take you to another school. It's probably better than this. And that's what they're kind of like thinking is.
Not realizing how to get there. There's so many issues. It's peak. So your mum chose Thomas Tallis.
Yeah, she chose Thomas Tallis because my mom's really like into her education. So before she does anything, she does like her proper due diligence, her research. And she thought at that time Thomas Tallis was the best school for me. And when I was there, I really liked it. Obviously, I'm in the country for about 2 years now. And like I play football, so I'm like cool now, That was a way to kind of express myself. I wasn't the loudest. I tried to stay out of trouble. So, but when it was football, everyone would like notice Amadou. So that's when like I started making friends and kind of having a group of friends. And a brother that comes here as well, his name is Adam Tabal.
Oh, mashallah, you know Adam as well,
Adam
yeah?
Tabal, yeah.
Algerian.
So, Algerian, yeah. He went to Modern Mount as well.
Okay, I didn't know.
And he came to Thomas Tallis. So me and him were really close. Yeah, me and him were really close until he moved schools. He moved to Forest Hill.
Forest Hill Boys, I thought he went there.
Yeah. So he was at Thomas Tallis for 2 years. He was a very good footballer, man.
I think he had an opportunity.
He was a very
for
good
Algeria, like one of the top Algerian teams. I think it's Mouloudia or something.
Yeah.
That he played for them for a while.
Yeah, he was good. He was at Mahrez. He was a joke. His left foot is crazy. Yeah, Adam, good player, man.
So in terms of Amadou, in terms of younger age, primary school age, Senegal, then primary school age, then also in your secondary school, the Deen side. Was Deen always in your stepdad was telling you to pray? What about mum? What about, your uncles and aunts? Was there always an influence of, because Senegal predominantly, I don't know, is it probably 95 or a very high percentage of Muslims in Islam. So how was the Deen side in your early years?
Yeah, to be honest, the Deen side was always installed in me from a young age. So again, when I was living in Senegal, with all my cousins in the same house, we used to go to Arabic school to learn the Quran.
Okay.
But it was different. It was not like here. Like, it was very harsh. So you memorize your Quran. If you don't, there's a guy with a stick that beats you. So I can't lie, I didn't really enjoy it. So sometimes, like, I used to run away from Arabic lesson, and then they'll catch me, they'll beat me again. Because I didn't really like it back then. So my entrance to the Quran in Arabic wasn't the best. And then because of those encounters, by being beaten in school and running away, being caught, my mom had like a private tutor. So he used to come to the house.
Back there?
Okay. Back there. He used to come to the house. I would still get beats from time to time, but he was a bit more patient. So I learned the foundation of the Quran from him.
What was that? Imraj is Professor Way. Is it Professor Way?
Waiting up people's names and that, but carry on.
Bilal Way. Yeah, so Bilal Way is like a learned African American. So one of the things he mentions about African slaves, and he has a book actually, and I think he calls it the Walking Quran, the Walking Quran. So these were slaves who had memorized the Quran, but they were bringing that into kind of like, into America and so on.
That's amazing.
Yeah, what is interesting, I think this was in 1521. This is just a few years after, like, slavery had started from West Africa. So Haiti had a revolt of slaves, and they say these were Wolof slaves.
Wow, that's amazing.
They mentioned names, and they said these were actually the scholars. Yeah,
from Senegal.
1521, but they were in Haiti. They had been taken, and they led a revolt against the slave masters.
MashaAllah.
Which eventually, I think, in 1791, kind of like resulted in the Haiti Revolution. Remember, Haiti became the first place where slaves became independent.
Yeah, I think first and only.
First and only, yeah.
To like lead the revolution and win. Wow, that's inspiring.
So Islam always kind of played a part, but also interestingly, remember, Senegal and Gambia were one country. Now, one thing is, and a lot of black people say, look, why does, when it comes to the black community, why does history always starts at slavery? And it's right.
Yeah.
Because look, there was like empires and kings and civilizations well before this.
Yeah.
And what is interesting is, even some historians write that there was West Africans who had traveled across the Atlantic to South America, to the Americas, and settled there before, and actually intermarried with Native Americans. And there were tribes, there were Native American tribes who had become Muslims.
MashaAllah.
So there's a kind of like a deep history and connection with Deen there.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm really into that. That's one of the reasons why I started my own clothing line. As you can see, it's like an African map.
Okay.
It's a lion, because Senegalese are known as lions. So for me, it's about changing the narrative, because when Africa is perceived here, it's like there's like a negative perception. So I always want to find kind of like motivational sources of inspiration from Africa to change the mindset. And it's inspiring, because our history doesn't start from slavery, like you said. Like I have a t-shirt and it's got Mansa Musa at the back. Like, he's the wealthiest man ever to live. And people should know that. Do you know what I mean? So
Where was he from?
he was from Mali.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was a Muslim brother as well.
I heard that he was a Muslim.
Richest
man ever to live.
So wherever he would go, the economy changes.
Yeah.
Because just travels with gold, changed
And
the
he used to
economy.
give away gold like that.
But what the history behind him is, he became the king because his predecessor traveled.
Yeah, traveled, just went
to America.
Yeah.
They took ships, I don't know, about 30 ships or something, and said, look, let's go across the Atlantic. And that's when they didn't come back, so he became the king.
over,
So
yeah.
that's what the history behind it.
And also, he was one of the guys that had like the historical library at Timbuktu. where there was like Islamic scholars. They learned education, maths, etc. So it was a big hub for education and learning resource center. So like people used to travel from all around the world to Timbuktu to educate themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that had a deen of, then, clearly had an impact. You were learning Quran. You've come to UK primary school, secondary school. We have these discussions like in Africa. Do people say, look, are you black? That discussion is not there.
Yeah, it's true.
Understand? You're Mandinko, you're Wolof, you're Fuller, you're this. But you've come here. There is, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a narrative of now your identity is this, and
you're put in a category, you're put in a box.
Exactly. How did that affect you, especially when you're in like Thomas Tallis school? Did that have an impact upon you?
Yeah.
Did that affect your deen as well? Because sometimes then you get boxed in a narrative which sometimes make you say, look, well, you know what? I identify myself more with this rather than my deen Islam. So any thoughts on that?
I think in school, when I started school, there was a lot of temptations to go into stuff or do things. For example, at one point, I wanted to get my ears pierced because a lot of boys got their ears pierced. Obviously, with your environment, it can kind of, it's hard to kind of just resist because it's easy just to conform with the norm. But luckily, like I had a strong mentality, and whatever my mom said, I would listen. And I'll even if I don't understand it at the point, when she explains it, I try look at things from her perspective. And even the thought of disappointing my mum, that would just make me stop it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my outlook.
You didn't have the rebellious side.
Exactly. So things like, getting your ears pierced or going out late or lying to her, things like that. I always try to, make sure she's comfortable. She's not stressing about me because, I'm the oldest and I wanted to be an example for my older sisters as well. So I didn't really want to let her down. And in terms of like the whole race thing, like in UK, when you fill out forms, they say like, "What's your ethnicity?" Do you know what I mean? I found all
black
of that.
British, black African, black Jamaican.
Yeah, black Jamaican. It was a.
But when it's white, it's just white.
Exactly. It's just white.
White English, white Irish.
So that comedian Trevor Noah says something funny. He goes, "Look, you know what? If somebody's kind of like, not white in America." He's saying, "Okay, you say, look, you're Native American, African American, or something. You add something to it." And then he's doing it in a joking way, like he's having a conversation with a white American. And the white American saying, well, those are African Americans. Those are, they're this kind of Americans. So he goes, what about you? No, we're just Americans.
We're just the original ones, man. There is nothing before us.
That is funny.
We are the... Yeah, it's crazy like that, isn't it? So they box you into different fields.
Yeah.
And each field has its own characteristics in its own way.
Yeah.
Like if you say black African, it's like black Africans look like this kind of way.
Yeah.
Within school itself as well, you see there's a slight deviation between Africans, Jamaicans, mixed race people even.
Yeah.
There's all of those little divisions in school if you go back.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a bit funny. It's funny now, but even like back in school, we used to do things like, we used to fight like Africans against Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Or we'll have like a football match, blacks versus whites.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how like you get put in a box.
So, on that as well. So, you're being, let's say for Senegal, I mean, look, it's not really a predominant community in the UK. Maybe now, more from Gambia rather than, because it's a French-speaking country, they go to France more rather than the UK.
Yeah, that's true.
So how was your relationship? Let's say you've got a lot of Nigerians, Ghanaians. Yeah, how was your relationship from as a Senegalese compared with the Nigerians and the Ghanaians, other African, kind of nationalities?
I think I've always been like very open to other ethnicities, and I want to learn about other people's cultures and the background where they're from. So most of my friends were of African origin. Some were white, some were like Adam, he was Algerian. So like I've got friends from everywhere, even to this day. So I know a lot about different cultures and countries and their origin and their story. So I had loads of friends, Nigerian friends, Ghanaian friends, Somalian friends, Senegalese friends. I've got more Gambian friends than Senegalese, but I just see it as one for historic reasons because Senegal and Gambia are basically one country.
They're right next to each other, isn't it?
No, Gambia is in
the middle
Senegal.
of
Oh,
Yeah, so the French.
so surrounded by Senegal.
Yeah, so the French.
Senegalese.
Yeah, so the French took over Senegal, and the British took the Senegambian River. There's a river that goes in between Senegal,
Okay.
and that's where the English took over, and that's what's called Gambia.
But in essence, it's Senegal.
Senegal, it's the same.
If something is within,
it's
that's
the
like
same.
saying you have Great Britain
And London.
and then in London it's like
Yeah.
it's they're in the same place. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So that don't make no sense.
It's the same. And like everything's the same language, same culture, same food, everything. So when I say a Gambia, I just say you're Senegambian because we're one.
Okay.
I don't like to really
Senegambian.
separate, you know.
Unity.
All right, so how was secondary school now? Let's just try go through school. School was like what secondary school now?
School was good, man. I love Thomas Tallis, honestly. Most of my friends to this day are from Thomas Tallis.
What about you, man? Did you love Thomas Tallis?
Did I like Thomas Tallis? I was in Thomas Tallis. I don't like to go through my history, my friend. It's about
Do you
him.
remember Mr. Anchor?
No.
PE teacher.
PE teacher?
Yeah,
was he mixed race?
Yeah, mixed race, tall.
Yeah, kind of physical.
Yeah,
like,
physical.
Yeah. I remember him still.
Yeah.
I like, you know what? Thomas Tallis, for me, because remember, I went to Elton Green first. Elton Green was a racist kind of school. Like 80-90% was white. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
So he says he's probably just being bad there. They kicked him out. They're racist, man. That's what he's trying to...
No, not necessarily, man. I think there's a lot of good people, but there's also a minority few that made your life hard.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Is that why you left?
I just got into a lot of fights.
Okay.
Lots of fights. Literally... Yeah, it was mainly fights. I wasn't a bad person in class. I done my lessons because I knew, but when I go back home...
We need to ask others, Akhi.
We need some witness statement.
Conflict of interest, Akhi, you know?
What?
You're saying... No, I'm joking.
No. You know what? Because I had a similar background. I don't know about you, but I had when I came here, I had my dad. So back home is my mum. Over here is my dad. So I've gone from someone very soft towards you to someone very harsh towards you.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? So... I could get a little red mark in school. Red mark. That just means you was a little bit naughty. That is a beating in itself. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? And I'm not gonna, my dad sees this, but that's just how the Somalian culture is. They want you to excel, but it comes with a level of harshness as well.
Discipline.
Do you get what I mean? So I was always scared, like, nah, don't get in trouble. But my dad ain't gonna beat me up for fighting people. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll get into fights like at school, all of that.
Scrapper.
Just scrapping. And then at the end, they just said, you know what, you gotta leave. And they let me to go to Thomas Tallis. And even on Thomas Tallis, my first day I had a fight. Like literally my first
Maybe
day.
it's you.
Probably was, but that was with a black guy. That's the funny thing. Trevor, old tight Trevor. Yeah,
exactly.
That was with Trevor. You know what it is? The funny thing as well, this is how you know I was still African. So this is my first day in school. I don't know why I even had a fight with him, to be fair. But he offered me, I don't know. But I said to him, no fights in school. We do it outside of school. So it's outside of school now. It's like, all right, let's go fight. I was like, no, wait, bro. I took off my jumper, took off my t-shirt, I took off my shoes, took off my socks. All I had was just my trousers and that's it.
You was topless?
Topless.
Right, you was ready.
Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Because you remember back home as well, we're wrestlers. People don't realise that in Somalia, we're not wrestling, we call it sabahad. Sabahad means like drapesing.
Or like grappling.
Yeah, so like
jiu-jitsu type.
similar to that. Like someone runs towards you, there's a way to use his body and flip them or drapes them to the front, all that kind of stuff. So I knew I didn't want him to grab me because he was bigger than me. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we got into a fight. I think I won. But anyway, we'll let Trevor say what he wants to say. But yeah, so that was my first introduction into that. And the rest was history after that.
Wow.
Became one of the cool guys in school. Enjoyed school. It was a good school. It's very...
Open,
diverse as well.
Open,
there's Chinese,
creative.
Yeah, they're more on the creative side to be fair. But there's Chinese people there, white people there, goths.
Yeah, goths. Yeah, it was weird, didn't it?
Yeah, there was goths there. There's the rapping kind of crew.
Yeah.
There's every mix. So I kind of like that school to be fair with you. It's a very good school to be fair. Even I wasn't invited to the. What's it called? The prom.
The prom.
Yeah, I wasn't invited.
You didn't get the call up?
They didn't give me the call up still.
Oh, man, unlucky.
They said you got to hold out on it. And I said, you know what, cool, man. But that's the only thing. But yeah, apart from that, it was a good school.
In your terms, you said you enjoyed school.
Yeah, I enjoyed school. I was always a good student.
Education was good?
Yeah, education was good. My mum always made sure I was on top with my education. And also with football as well. Football was going well.
Okay, were you playing for an academy at that time?
No, at that time I was playing for a Sunday league team called Bryden Ropes.
Okay.
They're based in Eltham. They were based in Eltham, and they played their home games in Catford. And I was doing well for them because most of my friends were playing for Bryden Ropes then, and then I got picked to play for London County. This was around year 9,
Okay.
So London County is like you represent the best players in London. So that's your county, and you play against other counties. So you play against Sussex, you play against Essex as well. Like all the other counties around London, you play against them. So it was a very good exposure. So we had a very good team, the best players in London, and it was just fun, man. Just we won the National Cup last year. I mean, not last year, the year before I finished. I think either year 10 or year 9.
Okay.
So we did that, and then I got scouted for Tottenham, and then I was in the development centre for Tottenham. So it's not the academy, but it's the development centre. So you're basically trying to get into the academy.
Okay.
And then it was good. That was the first time I realised, wow, like football's crazy, because there you get so many ballers, and like the coaching's very intense. It's 2 hours. Everyone's just, parents are there shouting at their kids.
But how did you get to that position? Because a lot of people say to be a footballer that you have to have links more than just your skill.
I got scouted from London County. So there was a guy called Frank. He was like one of the head scouts at Tottenham then. He told me to come. And 2 of my other teammates were from Thomas Alice, were at the development centre as well. So Brendan and Simi. And also Nathan Adua was playing for County as well. And he actually went on to play for Tottenham's as a pro. So there was a very good team. Jordan Ibe was there. He played for Liverpool. So London County was good. So like most players went to have some sort of career after that, the majority.
But would you say it was more about putting yourself out there?
Yeah, definitely.
Because everyone wants to be a footballer, to be fair. It's like America, everyone wants to be a basketball player. Do you know what I mean? But only a select few get to that destination.
Yeah, it's true.
And everyone wants to be it, so that's not really going to work. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So what is it that you done that kind of got you seen would be my question. Because there's many youngsters might be watching this that want to be footballers, but they're thinking, how can I...
Honestly speaking, from my experience, like football isn't just about being a good player. Like a lot of things, subhanallah, have to fall into place. So you need to be at the right team with the right people, the right coach. You got to be obviously fit to play. So all those things for me have to fall in place. It's like a table. If one leg's not there, it's not going to work out. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I saw it. And fortunately at that moment, I was playing for my school. I was doing well, playing for County, doing well. And I was in the right environment. Obviously, coaches were recommending me to teams and clubs, etc. Like Mr. Anker. He was the one that told me to go to the trials because he recommends what players from the school goes to the trials. And I went to the trials. I did well. And then, it just evolved from there, really.
So even his support, I mean, look, I don't know, it's like it's a video somebody sent me, and it's like Ian Wright. Ian Wright's in some stadium, and then a guy comes, an elderly chap, it might have been a teacher actually.
Mr. Pigham.
That's it. And he breaks down. And that guy is the one that kind of like supported him and gave him, like an opportunity or an encouragement. So sometimes, look, Allah sends people to give you, that kind of like a support.
Definitely.
No, but there's in that, because we had Mr. Anker. He didn't put us through nothing, bro. But what I'm saying is, I think
Anker's controversial. Like
this is what I'm saying. Our age, our year, when we was in Thomas Tallis, it's probably naughty, to be fair. So what I'm saying in that is, there are some things that teachers see within you that's different.
100%.
This is what I'm saying, Imam. 100%. So when I'm asking him these questions, it's unique to be in that position. It's unique to be the 1%. It's unique to be the richest man or the smartest man. It's not a position everyone gets. Do you know what I mean? You put yourself in that position. Of course, we know Allah is the one who puts everyone in every position. Qadr Allah, of course. Yeah. But within that, what does Allah say? Allah doesn't change the condition of a people until they change that that which is within themselves. So it's similar to that you've put yourself as a character who's hardworking, probably, who's manageable. Because like you said, football ain't just skills. I've seen so many people are the craziest ballers. Like even from Thomas Tallis, one of my friends, I hope he's watching, his name was Ibrahim. We used to call him Ibrahimovic.
Jeez.
That's the kind of skills that he had. Like he was Turkish background, Kurdish, I think he was. But the guy was a baller. Like you can't touch him. But gangs. And there's other ones, they're ballers, but they smoke. There's other ones, they're ballers, but they've got girlfriends. There's other ones, they're ballers, but their manners are bad. So you have to have all of the right kind of credentials to become that person. It's not just being a great baller. It's your attitude. It's your manners. It's how hard are you working? When you see people, how do you interact with them? Are you a person who's seeking for that? is all of that connecting. And when other teachers see that, they see that, they say, you know what, let me hook this guy up.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not just any individual they're going to hook up.
Yeah.
So people watching this, it's like, you know what, don't just think to be a baller. Think as an individual, have I got the right characteristics to become a baller?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, the chances of becoming a footballer is the 1% or less. Premier League is 0.0 something percent. So for me, I took it serious, innit? I took it very serious. And I took my education serious as well. So, you know, sometimes players will be good at football and then the teachers...
They can't do 2 times 2 though.
Yeah, but then teachers will take them out of football because they're not... So I never really had that problem. Rarely, maybe once or twice, but apart from that, I was always a good student. I would get into trouble here and there, but it wasn't significant enough to affect my football.
Yeah.
So football was serious. I was always on time, you know.
What was the support like? Your mum was...
So in year 9, year 10, this was the hardest stage of my life, I think, growing up, because at that point, my mum decided to move back to Senegal again.
Okay.
So the option was I'll go back with her, or I stayed with my uncle and auntie who were here at that time as well. They lived in Beaumont Hill, just where the police station is. So it was hard. I said to myself, Mum, I'm enjoying school. I'm doing well. Like, you can trust me to leave me here, innit? So she obviously then decided to go, and then it was a hard decision for her as well, you know, to leave.
All your siblings went as well?
Yeah, all my siblings went.
So you were the only one?
This time my brother was just born. This was in 2009. Okay. My brother Mohammed, he's the youngest. He was just born. So they moved back to Senegal. So I was living with my uncle and auntie. And that was very difficult for me as well, because for obviously my uncle and auntie, they had their own kids as well. They had 2 daughters. And I was in priority, naturally, which is fair because I'm older now, etc. But that's when I kind of grew up quick, because it's either I grow up and look after myself, or like I kind of struggle to become the man I'm supposed to be. And in the end, my mom sacrificed me to be here, so I need to obviously make her proud and do the best that I can. So, you know, little things like homework and school, etc. My mom was on top of me with that, but because she's not around anymore, I kind of just had to like wake up, do it myself, and make sure things. And I struggled. It was hard, even mentally, like knowing I want to speak to someone about something personal,
but you're on your own.
But I'm on my own kind of thing. So, and then
And
but again,
when you say uncle and aunt, were they kind of like direct uncles, or they were kind
direct uncles? So my uncle was my mum's little brother.
Okay.
His name was Abu Bakri. He was great to me. He was great.
So that helps, of course. You know, if somebody's that close.
Yeah, he was close. He was great to me. He did his best he can. He was great to me. Alhamdulillah. But because obviously a mother and son, or dad and son, is not the same as uncle and niece and nephew. So especially in an isolated place like London, where they're working. Do you know what I mean? Like he was working at Great Ormond Hospital, and my auntie was working. I think she was working in the hospital as well. So they were both there, and you know, hospitals long hours. So when they were doing long hours and stuff, I used to look after my nieces, you know, give them food, etc. So it was tough. But
at that age, did you not see any gangs happening around you?
Of course. You know, Feria. Yeah, man. A lot of things were happening then.
Why not get involved?
Can't lie to you. From the start, I was like, this isn't for me. Do you know what I mean? I'll be in the background, wherever things are happening, but it was never for me. I never even dabbled in it.
Was that a dini angle? Was it a religious kind of like angle, Islam? They're saying, you know what, this is haram. I can't
even say this is Islam, because a lot of my guys, my close friends that are Muslim, were involved in that. You know, I think it's just my character. I was very had strong mentality, so I'm not easily influenced by other people, especially if I don't understand why you're doing something. Because if I explain to you why you're doing this, they can't explain it themselves. So if it's not for you and you can't explain it, why am I going to do it? Do you know what I mean?
I would say, Akhi, that's Allah, you know what, that's Allah's blessing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's so easy to get into that because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
For Allah to save and protect you from that, that's, you know, a ni'mah that Allah's given you, Akhi, a blessing that Allah's given you.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, but in terms of education, so, you know, GCSEs, how did you do?
I did well. I got GCSEs in all of them, mostly A's and B's.
Okay. And then A-levels?
And then I did A-levels.
Same in Thomas Tallis?
So my sixth form college is very unique. So because my mum always wanted me to get a degree, so I had to go through the A-level route, but I still wanted to play football. So then there was a program at Haberdashers called with Cambridge United. So you study at Haberdashers and then you play football as well, representing Cambridge United, but in London. And then so I did that.
That's my school. That's my
Yeah,
school.
cheese repping. Repping. So, and then that was another good experience.
It's like he's jealous,
as well.
bro. It's like he's jealous, man.
He's hating.
He's hating it, man.
We used to call them the nerds, bro. Chill over there, man.
It was a mad experience. I was like, this is different, man. This is different. It's more like middle class.
Yeah. Middle class there, bro. Middle class there.
Now you understand, yeah?
Middle class, actually.
So yeah, man. And then, but I wanted to do. I still wanted to have an association with Thomas Tallis. So I explained to them, look, I want to do this Cambridge thing. I'm gonna study biology and PE there, and then
in Asks, yeah.
But Ask was biology.
Okay.
And then PE was Knights.
Knights Academy.
Knights Academy.
Mallory.
Yeah, Mallory.
Okay.
And then I did French at Thomas Tallis. So I did a subject for each school. So I was still around.
That's Trinity. I think
Yeah,
that's now.
it's crazy.
That's getting into shit, bro. That's getting into your association.
Stuff like that. So yeah, I did that. And then obviously playing football at the same time.
That's a lot, bro.
It's a lot. It was a lot. Honestly, those 2 years, it felt like it just happened so quick. It was. I didn't really get to socialize a lot because there's always something. And then it got to a point where I did biology. I had to drop biology because I was struggling. I wasn't doing well. So I didn't finish biology and I picked up BTEC Sport and I did A-levels, PE, and then obviously French. And then, but I managed to do okay, which allowed me to go to university. And this time, it's funny because this time now, so I'm 16, 17, 18. The guy that was running the Cambridge United, his name was Jamie Day. So he was the first team manager at Welling United and he was doing our youth program.
Inshallah.
So then he called me up to Welling United and then they were playing at a good level. They were playing at Conference National, which is just below League 2. So I used to train with them. Sometimes I'll go to games, but I never played because I was really young. And then eventually I think I signed and I went out on loan to a team called Walton Casuals. It's like towards Sussex. And then I had the opportunity to play for Senegal under 20s.
While you were still in university, yeah? Or this after
This was just when I finished
uni, yeah?
No, this was just when I finished college.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why it was a hard decision again, whether to go straight to uni or take a gap year.
Okay.
So I decided to take a gap year. So these times I'm 18, so I took a gap year. I went away to play for Senegal. I was there for like 3-4 months.
How did they clock you?
My uncle sent like videos of me playing, and then they said just come and train, and I trained and I did very well, and then I ended up staying.
MashaAllah.
I ended up staying, and then it was a hard experience though. Football, that was the hardest experience I've ever had.
There in Senegal? Or?
Yeah, in Senegal.
Okay, why in terms?
Because I'm thinking I'm playing in a national team. It's gonna be all good, chill, like good facilities, but it was completely different. So I got there. First of all, you're not in Dakar. You're in like the outskirts. So you're like an hour away. It's like a very isolated area. Not many shops. No like much infrastructure. It's just like this. Honestly, it felt like an army camp. You know how army camp is. Mm-hmm. So you're sharing a room. Toilets weren't in the best condition. To be honest, the food was good, but we didn't eat a lot. So we ate 2 meals a day. We didn't really have breakfast. So you wake up in the morning and you train in the hot sun at 7 a.m. with no breakfast. I'm not used to that. Now I can do it.
With no breakfast?
Yeah, no breakfast. And
what do you start with? I mean, what do you have?
Just water.
It's water.
Yeah.
That's the middle class talk.
What do you start with?
So what did you start with? You just wake up and you don't eat?
Just train, nothing else.
Not even just tea in a cup, like coffee, nothing?
Not even dates.
Not even a maid bringing you some biscuits, akhi?
Not even a little baguette. Nah, man, just water, straight out. And my first training session, I will never forget it. It was like a fitness test. And then they've been training for like a week already. I came late. And it was like, how many laps can you do in like 6 minutes, something like that. And I nearly fainted.
Peak.
It was so
similar
hard.
to like a bleep test.
Yeah, it was. But over there it's hard because I've come from England and it's hot. It's hot, it's humid. Do you know what I mean? It was tough. But I got through it in the end. The first like week was tough for me Can't lie, but eventually, naturally, you adapt. It's like evolve or die, innit? So you have a sink or swim.
Of course.
So
Who did you meet from? Like any other famous players? Did you meet any?
So yeah, that team was very good. That team had Lum Yai, who's right now with the Senegalese team at the World Cup
MashaAllah.
in Qatar, and there was another player called Musa Wage. He played in the last World Cup
Okay.
in Russia, 2018, and there's another player called Ibrahim Awaj, who's at Saint-Etienne in France. There's a few players that had made good careers of themselves.
There's all your mates now, yeah?
Lum Jai is my mate. Yeah.
He's playing right now.
He's playing right now. Yeah, he just signed recently for Reading. Yeah, they signed him from FC Porto in Portugal. Yeah.
The older players. What did you? I think just before the podcast, I think you mentioned about. Was it Haji Diop? There was one Diop and one Diop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2 year.
Yeah, Elhaz Diouf.
My age, yeah.
Yeah, Elhaz Diouf and Bouba Diop.
That's it.
So they were like the 2002 generation. So they made me like fall in love with football. Yeah, and one of my other mates who was at Crystal Palace last season, Sheku Kouyaté.
Okay.
We pronounce it Sheku Kouyaté. He's at Nottingham Forest.
Sheikh is probably Sheikh.
Yeah, Sheikh. Yeah, it's Sheikh.
what it
Yeah,
is, you know, like-
he's at the World Cup as well. Yeah.
Okay, so after that, now you've took your gap year. What's happening?
So now I've played for the national team, and then so obviously I'm getting a bit more interest, and then because I came in the national team a bit late, I didn't make the AFCON squad. So the AFCON squad was like January, February, but they told me, oh, stay, we want you to keep training with us for the World Cup. So,
This World Cup now?
No. I'm talking about,
Okay.
yeah, back then.
Okay,
So,
4 years ago, Russia times then.
No, the 2015 for the under-20s World Cup.
Okay. They do an under-20s World Cup?
Yeah, you didn't know?
No.
Yeah, there's under-20s World Cup.
Okay.
Yeah, so they did under-20 AFCON. They went into semi-finals. So once you're in the AFCON, the top 4 teams go to under-20s World Cup. This was in New Zealand then. So I trained again. I did well, played a few games. Funny enough, one of the games was against Qatar in Senegal because they had like an academy there. So if you see like some black players playing for Qatar, most of them are from West Africa.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that when I looked at it, I was thinking,
that's what they recruit them from young.
I know you're a bit brownish, but you ain't that dark, so I don't know.
They recruit them from young.
It's similar to England, isn't it? It's Saka. Akhi, you're not. Come on.
Yeah, but he was born here.
This is my point, though. So there's a lot of people that's playing for a team, but they're not historically. If you go back, they're not.
His thing's different.
Who's Saka?
Yeah, because he was born here, he was raised here, he was at Arsenal since he was 8.
But remember,
I might sit with a right wing on this one.
This is like sometimes discussion we've had of the podcast, which is, look, nationality is different from your ethnicity. You can be Qatari or Saudi in terms of as a nationality because you've been born there or they've given you that and so on. It doesn't mean ethnically you're this or that. I think that's where people get things wrong.
For example, Qatar's team, they've got a guy called Pedro, I saw.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah, like he only probably got his national in the last 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? Like their thing's different. Whereas I believe if you're born in the country or you're raised here and the system has made you the person you are as in terms of football career-wise, do you know what I mean? Then you feel like...
But the question for me is, when does being Senegalese stop and becoming English start?
No, but...
So if it's based on ethnicity, because Imam's saying there's a difference between nationality and ethnicity, if I'm, say my kids are actually born here, but obviously I'm Somali.
You get dual nationality.
So
you get dual
what happens when they have their kids? Are they still Somali or are they now English?
It's different because look, Somalia also Somal is an ethnicity. Is different. A lot of nations are not based upon ethnicity. They're nation states. Yeah.
Well, that's mainly just Western worlds now because they've taken over so many lands that everyone wants to come back to their country. But this is my point with ethnicity. I think for me, I will always be my ethnicity, and even my kids will always be Somalian. And even if they marry into, obviously it's going to change if they marry into different cultures. But their origin, if they go back,
Kenyan ethnicity.
Is Kenya an ethnicity? Yes, I would say Kenya is an ethnicity.
Different tribes are based there. Kikuyu, Luo. So that's a nation state. So I think it's slightly different.
Similar with Nigeria as well. Like there's so many tribes and
but that will still be an ethnicity, no? Tribes. When Allah says we've made you into tribes and nations, those tribes and nations are ethnicities.
So look.
So there's slight differences. Like you got the little scratches
Somalia,
here.
you can say that. Somali is an ethnicity. So this way, look, the tafsir of the shu'ub and qaba'il. So shu'ub is like Arab, shab. That's a people. And then you've got the tribes of the Arabs. Yeah. Same for Somal, that's an ethnicity, and you have your sub-tribes. But yeah, there's a country called Somalia as well, but not every country is based like that, where you can say the whole country is an ethnicity. No, it's different.
Because even if you look at the African map, you see like the lines are drawn literally in a straight line, like a ruler.
Yeah, they're fake.
So for them to create that, it means they have to force people
into that boundary.
Into that boundary. So,
example you gave, Senegal and Gambia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I would say that they're Senegalese, personally.
Gambians are not going to say that though. They'll say they were the Gambians because the nations,
But ideally, we're the same.
Yeah, it's a topic that's it's hard to get around.
It's ambiguous.
Yeah, it's hard.
And
to
that's
get
why
around.
also the deen side comes in, where the deen side is telling you, you know what?
It doesn't matter.
That surpasses everything. And deen brings you together. Islam brings you together. Yeah, and that's what Allah Ta'ala, what is even mentioning after the shu'ub and qabail, the tribes and the nations, what does Allah say? The best of you are those the most righteous, or those who have the most taqwa.
But it's just more for identity, innit? As Allah says in the Quran, it's more for just identity purposes. Yeah. Okay, I'm from this person, that person, that person. This is my history. This is my background. This is my context.
Yeah.
That's all it's giving you when you say I'm from this, that. It just gives a person context. Because Allah hasn't created us all, just white or black. There's variations between us, and each variation comes with a story. You've been from Senegal, comes with a story. Your kids will have a story. Imam Shakil from, Kenya to becoming middle class and then now becoming rich.
Middle class.
He has his story, understand? So
his story, yeah?
story, my story, your story. You understand? So moving forward, because obviously we're limited time, where are you right now with life and things like that? So you obviously we've gone up to Senegal. I'm guessing you finished over in Senegal. You are how old now?
So when I finished Senegal, I was 20 years old.
20 years old, okay.
Yeah, I didn't go to the World Cup under 20s, so I've come back now. But I've got that on my CV, so I've got a bit more opportunities. And so I had an opportunity to go to Scotland with a team called Dumbarton. Okay. They were in the Scottish Championship at that point. And again, I wanted to combine my education with football. Okay. So I enrolled at University West of Scotland.
All the way up there, yeah?
Yeah, all the way up there. It was tough. It was cold, but it was good. It was good. First time living alone.
Which city was it?
It was just outside Glasgow. So I lived in Glasgow, but the uni was just outside.
Okay.
So it wasn't that bad. So yeah, it was good. Obviously, it's exciting because first time being away from home. I'm living with two of my friends. They're my close friends to this day.
I don't think I could have ever lived in Glasgow.
Really?
Me and Imam went there for
was it?
2-3 nights. I don't think I could ever live there. Could you, man? It was blitz.
It's blitz. You get frostbite.
How the buildings all look gothic.
Yeah.
Like just old.
It's like brownish, reddish.
Yeah. It's just like, it's like something you see out of Harry Potter when they're in the back. In the back rows when they're trying to find a little smell or something and it's just all dingy and no disrespect to Glasgow guys, but yeah, man.
Nah, I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it. I was there for 2 years.
What food did you eat?
Not much, We tried to cook.
I think we found one place that sold some halal kebab food or something.
Yeah.
No, we weren't spoiled for choice. We loved off Nando's.
Pie and mash.
Nando's. That was
Nando's with a tuna or something.
Every day was Nando's. Yeah. So I was there for 2 years. I was playing for Dumbarton and I was studying at UWS, University West of Scotland. And then
what were you studying there?
I was studying sport and exercise science.
Oh, okay.
Because I like to combine the sport with the science. So I like to understand why athletes are doing this or how can you improve your psychology or your biology to be able to have like peak performance. I found that really interesting, hence why I studied sports science. And then
you completed a degree in that?
Yeah, I completed a degree. So, but I didn't complete it there. So I was there for 2 years and then I moved back to London for family reasons. And by this time, my mum's back here again.
Okay.
So by this time, she's back with my siblings and my stepdad. But this time, her and my stepdad have gone their separate ways.
Okay.
So I moved back to London, and then but because I was doing football at Dumbarton and I was going to university, the course was 4 years part time. Okay. So when I moved back to London, the option was to go to University East London. And they said I should carry on my degree another 2 years part-time. I didn't want to do that. I was like, I don't want to spend another 2 years of vacation. I want to like go back to full-time
your football.
push on. Because these times I'm only, 20, 21? And then they said, okay, we'll see how you get on. You can try to do 2 years in one. So
Cool. So it's just going to be very like intense.
Yeah, intense. And alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, I managed to do it.
MashaAllah.
So it was, again, that was one of the most challenging years because it was tough. A lot of sleepless nights in the lab.
Of course.
So alhamdulillah, then I graduated, and then that year I only played football part time with a team called Cheshunt in Hertfordshire, and then I got my degree, and then after that I had an opportunity to go to Greece to sign a professional contract.
Okay.
So this was in the summer of 2018. So I went to Greece and I was there for a year, and it was really good. Great experience.
Pay was good as well?
The pay was alright because it was my like proper first team contract. Because the Barton was like youth contract, so you're not getting a lot of money. But in Greece, like that's when I first felt like a footballer.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Footballer, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah, so I felt like a footballer, like, they sort out your house, your accommodation, your travel. Obviously you're playing week in, week out.
But again, it must have been strange because now you're in another country, different language.
Honestly, I like learning about new languages and exploring different countries. So for me, it wasn't a problem. People are like, oh, you went to Greece, how do you speak it? Like, I learned. Like, now I understand a bit of Greek, I speak it. Yasu, Tikanis, Gala.
Okay.
So I take interest in learning languages. So for me, that didn't faze me at all.
Okay.
Especially with my upbringing of, going to Senegal, being exposed to different things. It really helped me just be able to adapt to any environment that I'm in, honestly speaking.
So I'm saying sometimes in European football, I'm not sure about Greece, but some parts of Europe, racism is intense. So how did you find it in Greece?
Greece was like, the place that I wasn't in the city. I lived in a place called Desprotos. It's like, you've heard of Kerkira, Corfu, the island. Yeah, it's like not too far from there. So Corfu is an island, and the next mainland city is Desprotos. So I didn't really get racially abused, but people were just so like curious of like me because I'm black. So like,
were you the only black player in the team or something?
Yeah, I was the only black player in the team. Yeah, I was the only black player in the team. Obviously, my teammates were younger, so they're kind of like, they watch football, they know how football is, etc. It's international sport. But when I used to like go to like cafes, I remember this old Greek man, who was like to me, Mavro. Like, Mavro means black. He was like, Mavro.
Like that?
Yeah, like, Mavro. I'm like, no. Ohi Mavro. I said, no Mavro. Evo Amadou. Like, I am Amadou. Ohi Mavro. He's like, nah, you Mavro. He's like, no, you're black. I was like, no, don't call me black, Amadou. So it was really like, they need education because they're very ignorant.
And that's the motherland of philosophy.
Yeah.
Imagine that. That's where philosophy started. Plato, Aristotle. You'd think these would be people that
open-minded and never.
Do you get what I mean?
Understanding.
Yeah.
And then coming back from there, so you came back to
So
London,
I came back to London again. I came back. So I was in Greece from 2018 to 2019, and I came back that summer. And unfortunately, I've got an eye condition.
Okay.
It's called keratoconus. So it's like, normal, it's your cornea. So your cornea is like the window of your eye. So normally it's shaped as like an oval shape, but mine's like shaped like a rugby shape.
Okay.
So gradually my eyes just started getting a bit weird and twitchy and like extreme stigmatism. So I got it checked out at the ophthalmologist, the eye doctor, and they said that I would need surgery because it was getting bad. My left one was getting really bad. So I got surgery for that. So it was the scariest thing ever, honestly. Like, I was awake.
Came back here, for that?
Yeah, I came back here for that. So I got the surgery in like August, September, and then it was scary. So like, they gave me obviously natural anesthetic, but I'm awake. So like, the procedure was they remove your cornea, and then they do some like vitamin drops, and it grows back stronger, so it stops progressing. So it doesn't cure the disease, but it just stops it getting worse. So that's what I did. And I was awake, and then they just cutting out my eye. It was mad. It was scary. It was scary, yeah. So
and you could see through the eye when it was happening?
I couldn't see. It was just like a blur. Like, when you cry so much, and then you just see blurry stuff. That's how it felt like. And they're having like casual conversations about the family and the doctors. It was mad. So that put like my football on hold for like 3 or 4 months. And as I was getting fit again, obviously COVID happened.
Oh yeah, 2020.
Yeah, 2020. And then, like for the first time in my life, I was like a standstill because I'm doing this, doing that, playing football here, doing that. And it was like everyone, it affected everyone. And that's when I obviously wanted to pursue my own clothing line.
Okay.
I always had an idea, but I think that was the time to kind of execute it.
That's what you're wearing, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I'm wearing, yeah.
What does that
SCJ.
What does it stand for?
Saper comme jamais. So it's French for swagger like never before. And it's like a streetwear brand inspired by African culture, and it's like blended with contemporary fashion.
Okay, it looks nice.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it, thank you.
So where are you now then? So 2000, obviously 20 was 2 years ago. Where are you now in life?
Yeah, so obviously 2020, football was out of stock. So it was hard to get back into football because you've gone a year without playing.
Of course, and lockdown.
After my surgery, lockdown, etc., etc. So I decided to go back to my old team called Cheshunt. It's in Hertfordshire, and they were part-time, and they were in step 3, which is just below the National League. And then I know the manager, I know some of the players there. So I went to play for them, and we had a very good season. We won the Hertfordshire Cup, and we got promoted. And I scored in a playoff final to get promoted.
Inshallah.
So it was a very good season. This was last year. And the day of the final was the day of Eid, just after Ramadan. Yeah, so we went to pray in, was it Ladywell?
In the park.
Oh, these sides, yeah?
Yeah. Was it Ladywell? No, the second was Eid in the park. It was in Ladywell, innit?
We don't want any lady, yeah.
Yeah, Ladywell. And then, that day, I couldn't eat much. My mom chefed up bare stuff, innit? But I couldn't eat much. I was like, Mom, we've got a final to play. Kept it light. And then me and my other brother, Mohammed, he comes to this mosque as well. We ate at my house and then went to play. And then, it was a good game. We beat Hornchurch 2-1. And then, we got promoted.
Okay.
And because I had a very good season, I think it's the most goals I scored in the season for a midfielder. I think I got 6 goals, 7 goals.
Nice.
And then that helped me to kind of like get attention from the league above.
So is that the aim now?
Yeah. So
That's your aim to go to?
Yeah, to just to gradually progress. So that's what got me the attention to play for Welling.
Okay,
Welling
so you're playing for now?
Yeah, so Welling United. It's a good club, and that was the first club I played for when I was younger. So
you said that, yeah.
So it's come full circle. Yeah, it's come full circle.
Just in terms of, like the Dean side, so any temptations, being a footballer, playing for Welling, any distractions?
Yeah.
Dean-wise there? Or,
No, definitely. I mean, in my environment of football, and now it's not just so bad because I'm older now. I'm 26. But between 20 and 25, from when I was living alone in Scotland, there was those temptations. We'll go out a lot, obviously, do certain things. There was a lot of temptations. But obviously, as you get older, you grow out of that, and you kind of focus on the more important things, which is the deen, and trying to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and just looking at the positive role models, which is obviously the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and just try live a righteous life. In the end, it's a journey. Obviously, no one's perfect, but you try improve yourself every day.
Do you think the clubs now, they understand a bit more and cater for, I mean, I think there's a kind of like, it's called Nujum Sports.
Yeah, Nujum, I'm aware of them, yeah.
Yeah, so they're trying to, give awareness training to a lot of football clubs. But is there more awareness of Islam? Is there prayer rooms like for Welling? Do they accommodate when it's Ramadan? Do you fast? When it's, do they say, look, you can fast, but we'll let you play 10, 15 minutes or,
To be honest, with football, from when I started playing to now, they're more aware of Islam and Ramadan, and obviously Muslims don't eat pork and we eat halal food, etc., etc. So I've gradually seen clubs be more aware of that, and they cater to us, so which is very, very, very positive.
Do you think the players that have, Premiership players like Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, Pogba, the Muslim players, they've had a positive impact?
Oh, definitely. Even like my mate Sheikhu Kouyaté, who was at Crystal Palace, they did like a documentary about Ramadan and what it is, and just for people to have a better insight of why we fast and the meaning behind the whole month. So it's definitely helped to raise awareness, and for people to be aware of it and cater to us, because in the end, the team want the best for their players.
Isn't Demba Ba from Senegal as well?
Yeah, Demba Ba's from Senegal as well.
So he's the one who started the sujood. Was it for Newcastle?
Yeah, for Newcastle. Him and Cisse.
Yeah. So they started
what a duo.
that thing. Yeah.
Great duo, man. Good
and
team.
I think they had a prayer room when they were there.
Yeah, exactly.
Newcastle opened a prayer room.
Yeah. No, it was good. So for example, at Welling, like they give us halal food. They give us space to pray before matches.
Okay.
So yeah, it's even like away games, when you want to pray, we asked, is there a room? They said, yeah, sure, you can use this room, etc. I don't know about Scotland though, because Scotland when I was there was that was different, and Greece as well.
Scotland's peak, bro.
They don't even know what Islam is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Allah's hikmah, akhi. I think Allah's wisdom.
Yeah.
Allah's put Muslims in positions. I'm speaking more about UK, probably in Western countries, but UK in all fields of life.
Yeah.
We had a brother who took shahada a few weeks ago, and I said, look, you know what? He's a professional boxer. So I said, look, what kind of attracts you to Islam? He said, look, Habib. Yeah, Habib, UFC fighter, and Muhammad Ali is a boxer.
Wow.
But whether it's football, whether it's something else, whether it's TV, there's someone there in positions influencing others about Islam and showcasing the real Islam.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't like this 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. Like now we have like role models that the younger generation can relate to.
Well, actual role models, not just role models that are in there just because they're footballers or just because they're boxers. They're actually doing something that's positive that you can respect. I think most times when you look at footballers and all these other stars, they're just put on that pedestal as if like it's a given. Any footballer is a role model to them anyway, whereas for us it's like, well, no. What's your character like? What's your relationship with God like? Then we'll take you as a role model. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, like footballers are put on a pedestal by default.
By default.
And that shouldn't be the case.
Of course not, because these are just, look at the whole situation with, what's that guy, Greenwood or whatever.
Yeah.
Greenwood, you got the other one that's in court right now. Mendy.
Yeah.
There's the one that kicked the cat.
Oh, Zuma, yeah.
And that's just the ones we know of.
Yeah, it's true.
Many of these guys have problems within their life. They're just normal human beings. Just because they can score goals and they're good footballers, what make them any role model? They're just any human beings.
But the same, look, they are even, on a positive kind of like flex. Footballers before weren't conscious as they are today. So meaning, look, Dembaba and Mohamed Cisse for Newcastle. How many Muslim? They're probably Muslim players then, but who would take that opportunity to do sujood, shukr, gratitude to Allah Almighty? And then how it became with Muhammad Salah and Mane and so on. So I think that is the Qatar World Cup. The captain for Qatar, he had a Palestinian.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow, mashallah, I didn't notice.
It's a big statement.
Wow.
You're showcasing the Palestinian struggle to the world also. And I wanted to get onto that kind of like, the World Cup. What's your thoughts? Double standards of some of the non-Muslim countries concerning some of the issues in Qatar. What's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I think I was watching the BBC broadcast of the first game, Qatar-Ecuador, and the game was at 4 and the broadcast started at 3. For 45 minutes, they just spoke about how basically Qatar shouldn't be hosting the World Cup. And for me, similar to what Piers Morgan said, do you know what I mean? Like, you can't...
It's hypocrisy.
It's hypocrisy. You're there, you're getting paid. If you don't like it or you're boycotting it, don't go or don't get paid for it. Because without this, you wouldn't be on the TV with cameras and you're speaking your opinion. Any country has problems, including the UK, including America. Obviously, UK, we're going through stuff. America's going through stuff like abortion law, guns, etc., etc. So for you to try...
throw stones when you live in a glass house.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't make any sense. Especially, for me, what I find a bit frustrating is that, the whole alcohol thing. Where they're complaining that they're not selling alcohol. It's their religion, they're Muslims, they don't eat pork, they don't drink alcohol. So how do you feel so entitled enough to demand that
that's the word.
Just they compromise their own religion to cater to you for 1 month? Like, it's a bit mad, I can't lie.
The level of entitlement. I done a little sign con, it's like the level of entitlement you must feel.
Yeah.
Remember, the whole reason we've come out of Brexit was what? Want to control our borders, who's coming into our countries, this, that. Okay, fine, good luck to you, great. But now you're going to someone else's country. You want those specific people to cater to you.
Yeah.
But when people was coming over here asking for work, you call them, what do you call them? And migrants, economic migrants. You understand? Or you're not fleeing from war, you're seeking money. Well, fine.
Yeah.
Now you're going to a country to watch football.
Yeah.
So you're not running from money, you're not going there for anything. So why do you expect those people to cater
your life's not in danger?
You understand?
And you're still not happy.
It's double standards and it's that high level of entitlement, and then the hypocrisy side comes from it. Bro, you just done a World Cup in Russia. Russia who's annexed how many different countries,
Yep.
Russia who's been playing the Cold War issues, Russia who has done the whole Chechenian issues and all these kind of issues, you've taken it there. And this one, they didn't even show the whole Muslim bit in the beginning.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, that's.
I didn't even know about it until social media.
They didn't show the ceremony.
I didn't even know about the ceremony
they didn't know about
until social media, bro.
Yeah.
So if there was no such thing as social media right now, you would not know that there was a ceremony in Qatar.
It's crazy.
You'd think football just started like that.
It's mad.
Look, one thing is like Piers Morgan said it. He said, look, you know what? Even human rights here. Remember, you invaded Iraq.
Yeah, exactly.
How many people did you kill in Iraq? So how you then, and I think one of the questions he said, like, well, do you travel to the Middle East? One of the journalists.
Yeah.
You know, and she couldn't answer. Because look, you obviously go on holidays to those places anyway.
Yeah.
We don't make that an issue.
Exactly.
Like you're making this as an issue. You're using football to make this as an issue. And you know, he said, look, how many, I think he said, Piers Morgan, 1 in 4 countries in the world, homosexuality is illegal.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you said, the double standards.
Double standards. And even the thing with like Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, said something similar. He said,
he's a bit messed up though, I'm not gonna lie. Still,
no, he's alright.
He said, today I'm Arab.
No, he's alright.
Today I feel Arab.
Today I am black.
Today I'm black.
I think his wife is
Today
Arab.
I'm gay.
His wife is Arab.
Yeah, akhi, how many things can you... And you know what, as I was listening to it, I was thinking, he's named African, Arab, gay, disabled. When you name all these 4 things, are you saying all these 4 things are disadvantaged?
No, but he's trying to say that the World Cup is for everyone.
Yeah, but why not say today I'm white?
The message, I think he did say I'm white.
He didn't.
But that's because everyone knows
Arab.
white already.
But that's my point. So for me, when I'm seeing it, see people like to lump so many things together. African, disabled.
In a way, it's like a disadvantage.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
These things.
Why mention that? Why not say today I'm European?
Yeah.
Today I'm white.
It's like the whole minority thing, isn't it?
Exactly, but you're a minority, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
you're a minority in a Muslim country.
Yeah.
You understand? You should say today I'm Christian. Today I'm white.
Yeah.
Then you could have said, but when you put like today I'm African, today I'm Arab, today I'm gay. How the anyway, there's so many things I could say. I just don't think it's necessary.
He did speak about double standards, though.
No, he didn't.
And I think that's quite important.
He tackled that issue.
He did. He said for 3,000 years what we have done, we should be apologizing for the next 3,000 years. Of course he did.
And the key thing is, they're actually, Muslim countries generally are tolerant. They're saying about this LGBTQ, you know what, just don't come and be open about it.
Exactly.
America just had... there's been a shooting in a gay club. I don't know what, 18 dead or something.
Yeah, they have those shootings though.
Yeah, that's kind of like regular.
Yeah, that's regular.
That's intolerant.
The rednecks ain't having it over there, bro. Y'all want to be gay around here?
No.
Over there. At least in Africa and wherever, they might just look at you sideways like, yo, this is a bit corrupt, but they ain't gonna bring out a gun and start shooting you down. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I think, and even in that, look, there was another guy who said, I don't know what position he's in Qatar. I think they questioned him about this whole gay thing. And he goes, look, all we're saying is...
A non-Muslim or a Muslim?
He's a Muslim. Obviously, he's from Qatar.
Okay.
But I think they're questioning him about the whole gay thing. He said, look, it's not an issue in the sense of...
You're not allowed here.
Yeah, you're allowed here. Just don't promote it like that. He said, what, but you can't hold hands with your husband or boyfriend, he said, look, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying me and you right now, we can walk outside and hold hands. No one's going to arrest us. Because we could, remember the Arab culture, there are men that hold hands and, you understand?
And kiss and stuff, yeah.
They're a bit close like that, you understand?
Yeah.
And even to be fair, in Africa, many men are cool like that. There is kind of a boundary, like we understand it, do you know what I mean? Whereas here...
Don't only see you two walking with your hand outside.
In England, England's a bit different. This is my point I'm making, actually. I think African culture and even some Middle Eastern cultures, that kind of man relationship, they can be very cool like that, like holding hands, and it's just very brotherly. Over here now is a whole different story. Somehow sexuality gets involved into this whole story, you understand?
Yeah.
So he was saying to the guy, look, we can hold hands, you ain't going to get arrested.
Right, so when he comes to Senegal with you...
Yeah, he's going to show mad.
Yeah, bro, we link arms, bro. We link arms, man. Innamal a'malu binniyat, bro, yeah? The intention according to the actions, bro. So, you understand? So, but the point he's making is you don't get arrested for showing basic kind of like friendship. But you ain't going to go out there and start kissing another man, bro. Like... That one now, you got to hold it down in the prison cell, you understand?
Yeah, that's true.
That's their culture. That's their way of life. You got to respect the law.
That kiss, The side
On
one.
the cheeks.
Yeah, the side
The
one.
French does that.
Yeah.
The French do that. So imagine we just said we're not gonna go France now because you lot kissing.
But
the
even the
cheeks.
French thing where like they talk about human right, you know how women are not allowed to wear the hijab in like public places.
There
I
you go.
mean-
You can't wash your bum.
What is it?
Yeah, bro. Some company said if you wash your bum, you're getting fined.
Nah,
What do you mean by wash your bum?
Serious, bro. Nah, this ain't making up things.
What do you mean by wash your
Please
bum?
try and find it and put this up.
No, that's
They
crazy.
said one company in France said if you wash your bum in the toilet room, that's a fine. So we want you to have doo-doo stains in your pants. That's what we prefer.
Nah, that's
Use
brilliant.
a tissue and have doo-doo stains. That's what they're saying. Serious things. That's how deep they're going. They prefer
Wait.
that you follow their culture, which is to wipe your bum, than to follow your culture, which is to wash your bum.
Your bum,
You know,
yeah.
one of I think maybe I didn't mention it properly in the one of our podcasts, but they have three kind of like what's the term? Like a statement.
Yeah.
So it's liberty, fraternity, equality. Actually, where is that for the Muslims?
Yeah, there's none of that
Where
there.
is that for the Muslims in France?
Bro, they
you got
probably,
none
they
of-
probably just put you probably didn't read the little
print.
writings, bro.
Small
It said
print.
just for white Caucasian
Yeah.
people, bro. That's it.
Mad.
You understand?
Can't lie.
But let's fast forward because I think we've gone over 1 hour 20 minutes. We've gone through obviously so far, mashallah, your background, and I personally see you as a unique individual, bro. You've had many people sitting here, and it's not that they're not unique in their own way, but it's unique to see a youngster at your age. I'm guessing, what are you now? What, 23? 26, mashallah, yeah?
Yeah.
At that age and the life you've lived so far, especially from another country to this country, your mum not being with you, being away from you, not seeing your dad, meeting him at a later age,
Yeah.
meeting and having a stepfather, it's a very hardship type of life. Do you know what I mean? And most
It's a
people
roller coaster.
exactly, and most people in that fell by falling into drugs and gangs and whatever, and they'll say it's because my dad wasn't here. It's because my mom. We've had that, Imam. You get what I'm trying to say to you? And I'm not justifying their excuse, but at the same time, we have to highlight that there's people that's been through that and not going through that path. And that has to be respected, because sometimes we give too much time and air to people who've been through the whole gang life and like, well done, bro, you've come out of gangs. But then the people who've never been in gangs is like, well, that's just normal. Why should we care about that? Do you get what I mean? Whereas what the Prophet ﷺ say about the 7 people who are under the shade of Allah, one of them being a child who grows up under the shade of Islam and has been on that path all his life. Hasn't strayed away from it necessarily. He's been on that path all his life. That's one of the people, akhi. So from the Prophet ﷺ's perspective, that's a better person than a person who's varied off and come back to it. Someone who's stuck to it all their life without having to veer off. So with that, I was just saying, you know what? Well done for that, bro.
Jazakallah khair. Really appreciate it.
You have to make that clear to many
Jazakallah khair.
people. After that, you are where you are today. What is the kind of, looking back at your life, what reminders or what kind of advice would you give to youngsters, especially in the sports world, 'cause that's what you're in, to, accomplish that football kind of world or whatever sports they want to accomplish?
For me, is when you chase something, whether it's business, whether it's football, I believe you should have a purpose behind it. Why are you doing it? Because I think if you don't know your why, there's no point you going into something, because when it gets hard, you just give up. So if you understand why you're going into it, you might love it. You might want to, make some gains to help your family out. Whatever it is, just know why you're doing it. If your why is not strong enough, if your why doesn't help you get up in the morning, if your why doesn't gives you that burning desire to succeed, it's hard, because it's already hard as it is. So make sure you do something that has a strong substance and foundation behind it to give you the energy and the drive to fulfill that success. Because it's hard, you know what I mean? Wherever, especially in football where not a lot of people are going to make it. There's going to be, I got released from Tottenham, got released from Millwall, went to hundreds of thousands of trials, but I never gave up because I always believed in my ability. And alhamdulillah, I'm not playing at Premier League, but at least I can say, I was a professional footballer. I played for my country at youth level. For me, it's still an achievement. It's something that I could tell, my kids or grandkids, you know what I mean?
And that you tried your hardest in that.
Exactly.
It wasn't half-hearted. It wasn't, do you get what I'm trying to say to you? And there wasn't that support level that you had. You didn't have a mum and a dad and wealthy background and someone keep backing you, backing you. It was from your own back. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? Whereas a lot of people, to be fair, they do have a certain, a net that helps them if they fail. Do you get what I mean?
And that was one of the reasons why Tottenham was difficult for me, because I'm traveling from South East London to Wood Green. I mean, that's like an hour 20 rush hour on the train and back. Like, it got depressing and I wasn't really enjoying it that much. So again, like, obviously, lots of love to my parents and my uncle and my auntie, but I didn't get that where someone would drive me to training, pick me up, talk about the game. You know, I have a shit game, I have no one to talk about it with. I just have to be like, oh, football's shit. Do you know what I mean? Sorry for swearing.
And it's a privilege.
But that's how I was thinking back then.
But that's a privilege to have that. This is my point. People don't realize that's a privilege for a mum or a dad or an uncle or a cousin to be able to drive you to somewhere regularly.
Yeah.
That, because the person has to have someone else looking after money or something for him to be able to take you there regularly. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So those people who are maybe watching is who have a mum, who have a dad, who are putting in that type of effort on them, they have to show a level of gratitude.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Because not everyone has that. Some people have to go through lives and struggles to even get through the other side.
Yeah.
I think one beautiful thing that James O'Brien, he says on thing is like
OBC.
on OBC, he talks a lot about racism and all that kind of stuff. One of the examples he gives is that there's many people that had a head start in life and they think they've won an open goal. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But you've had a head start. You've already had a mum and a dad in your life. That's a head start. Then your mum and dad are, maybe one of them is making money. That's a head start. Then you live in a home that your family owns. That's a head start. Then you've gone to a private school. That's a head start. All of these are already a head start. So by the time you've won in life, you've already been given a lot. Whereas there's other people that don't have a mum or a dad or one, and then it's a fractured home, and then they've got no, other support. Then they have to. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? It's a much more fulfilling end for that person.
Alhamdulillah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Akhi? If you made it and then if another man made it that had the same different support, your success is much higher than his success.
It's like running a race and you're already 400 meters behind that person.
Of course. For you to beat that person, you are more rewarding than, you understand me, Akhi? So within that...
I think with Allah Ta'ala, with this hikmah, or we call it qadr, puts people through certain situations to make them come out better, more experienced, more learned, more understanding. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is he died, his father died when he's in the womb. 6 years old, his mother died. But Allah's preparing him. Look, he was a shepherd. Why? Looking after sheep, Allah's preparing you to look after, and sheep need attention and care and rahmah and mercy and so on.
True.
So all of these are just Allah preparing you for something greater, inshallah. So I appreciate you coming down.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, Jazakumullah khair, bro. I appreciate it as well, man. We appreciate it as well. And inshallah, we'll catch up more often, bro.
Definitely.
Yeah, barakallah feek. And we'll leave it here. Jazakumullah khair for those watching. And we'll catch you on the next one. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.